Yes, people, welcome to another episode of Bacon Bashes, your favourite topic of the week on Behind the Bars TV. And as promised, I will be bringing you these videos as they come in. So this one is quite recently, and the title says in the papers, Nottingham rapist carried out boiling water attack on prisoner in wheelchair. Now, this happened in HMP Whatton, which is in a little village near Bingham. But guess what? HMP Whatton is a Bacon prison. So you can only go to that prison if you have committed an S offence. So the prison actually holds 850 male prisoners who have all committed the most despicable of crimes. And this rapist was given an IPP sentence in 2012. So the one in question, I'll just tell you exactly what it says in this article. A Nottingham rapist who carried out a S attack on a teenage stranger outside a college threw a bowl of boiling water over a prisoner in a wheelchair. Nottingham Crown Court heard how James Hamilton's unprovoked assault left the victim with 22% burns to his body. The man spent 19 days in hospital being treated and now has permanent scars across his body, and at the time of the incident, the defendant, formerly of Bestwood, was serving an indeterminate sentence for the rape which he committed when he was 21. So for this most recent offence, he's been given 4 years and 8 months. But this will have to be served. Then his IPP won't ever go away until the parole board release him. Then he gets his licence terminated. But committing things like this inside of prison, he will not be released for a very long time. And that's why the IPPs are finding it really hard to get resentenced or get them overturned completely because of people like this. But that is another story. But this prisoner, it doesn't say who he is, but it does say, obviously, it's an S offender prison. It does go on to say that he is in for an S offence. And it's with it saying 22% scarring on the body, and he was in hospital for 19 days. That tells me that was a lot of boiling water. It says here a bowl of boiling water, but to get 22% burns, I've seen lads on numerous occasions get cups or flasks of boiling water chucked on them. Normally they'll go to hospital and they're back within the same day. The burns have been treated, patched up, and they're sent back to prison. But this one was in for 19 days and 22% burns. So I'd imagine that bowl was rather big, and it's probably come straight out of the tea urn, what we call them in prison. Because they've got them on the landings where they're just boiling away. So when the prisoners come down for the teas or dinners off mealtime, then you fill your flasks up. So I'd imagine he stood and filled quite a bit up and went in and tipped it over him. That's the only way he could have done that, unless he's had a few kettles, because the kettles are only the size of a little travel kettle inside of prison. But it goes on to say, jailing him for 4 years and 8 months, Recorder James William Casey said the victim was vulnerable given that he was in his cell and in a wheelchair, so he was unable to avoid or counter your unprovoked attack, which you carried out without warning. There was a degree of premeditation, and he suffered permanent scarring to his stomach, arms, shoulders, and you have also damaged his hearing. How can you damage his hearing? Is that just another ploy to get more money? Because he will be claiming for criminal injuries inside the prison. So he went on to say he also told of the undescribable pain caused to him, and during the 19 days he was in hospital, he had to have burned skin scraped off him. The only evidence I have seen in terms of a motive was that you wanted to get yourself moved to another prison or put in segregation, and the authorities had not been willing to do this, which is normally the case, but I'd imagine he's had some sort of dispute, because why else would he have picked him? Obviously, they're both ex-offenders, so unless he was in for doing something to a child, and he sees himself as a little bit of a bit hierarchy. He doesn't see himself as bad, which these Bacons actually do, believe it or not, even though they're all as bad as each other. So it goes on to say, Laura Pittman said on September the 1st, 2023, the defendant was serving at HMP Whatton near Bingham when he walked into the victim's cell armed with a bowl of boiling water and threw it over the helpless man who was alone and serving a sentence for a S crime. She said they'd had no issue with each other before these events. The victim told how he felt the water on his body and that what he said was shocking pain, and looked up to see the defendant standing in his cell. Now I wonder, when he felt that pain and he felt like, or he knew what it was like being a victim, I wonder if he actually thought about his victim of the S crime, the one he inflicted pain upon. But I bet you any money the sentence he's serving isn't anywhere near what the other one got for chucking the water on him, because normally these predators get shitty little sentences. So some might say a prison justice served up at its finest in the hour of need. He was immediately taken to hospital by ambulance and remained there for 19 days. He stated, "I don't know why Mr. Hamilton threw the water over me. He had to," oh sorry, I've just said that, haven't I? Or unless it's just repeating because I've just scrolled further down that. But it goes on to say he's totally milking it for the proceeds to get criminal compensation. He is now fearful of being around other people and always has to stand with his back against the wall. He says he does not trust anyone anymore and does not let other people come into his cell. Now he sounds like someone who's been interfered with. That's how his victim will probably be feeling. Hamilton, who appeared for the hearing over a video link from HMP Whatton in Norfolk, pleaded guilty to assault occasioning grievous bodily harm with intent, as well as the rape offence from 2011, which he unsuccessfully appealed. He has matters of violence and robbery on his criminal record. Stefan Fox mitigating said he understands he has brought this about himself and he asks for appropriate credit for his plea and remorse. The fresh sentence will run alongside the indeterminate one, and Hamilton will not be released from custody until the parole board says so. Then when he's released, he'll be out on licence. But when he has his first hearing, after that, there's no way the parole board are going to be letting him out. And he's been in since 2011 or 12, I think it said there. So he spent a considerable amount of time on his IPP, and he's going to spend a whole lot more. But when I've done these videos previously, and a lot of people agree on this channel, these type of offences that happen in prison, the majority happen on the Bacon wings, the VP wings, and a lot of people will agree it's prison justice. And sometimes, depending on what they're in for, I mean, the Bacons, I'm not going to lie, in my eyes, they deserve it. So that is today's story, people. I thought I would bring you a bit of fresh content. Even though this was in 2023, he has just been sentenced for this 2 days ago. So I will be bringing you more stories on these people. Hopefully you are enjoying this. Keep an eye out, because there is loads of topics coming up this year. Podcasts, Bacon bashes, motivation talks, you name it, I've got it. Take care everyone, enjoy the rest of your day.